I got bullied out of wearing jeans. I can't wear jeans anymore.
No, you didn't get bullied. You got TK'd out of wearing jeans. So let's be clear. I also used to wear the jeans, and I
heard the bullying.
Can we get a pair of white
Only
pants?
blame it on what you're wearing.
I would love white pants.
So check it out.
Hey guys, Bubbles here with another episode of the Unknown Podcast. Today we are joined by Exo the Terrible, Shadow Fox, and Steve Creates. We're going over a little bit of the patch notes for 12.11 that of the podcast with Nikita and Pestily and a few others, as well as dive into our plans for next wipe. So 12.11, there was some big, I guess not huge announcements because we knew the factory expansion was coming with the factory boss. And I kind of want to dive into factory first because that is probably the most anticipated part of this next patch. Looking at the pictures of said expansion, it looks awesome. As it's not necessarily an expansion, I think it's just a rework. Is it bigger? Do we know?
It's bigger. They're leaving, from what it seemed like, they're leaving a lot of it alone, and they're expanding around it. So one of the halls that has the ramp down that just has the edge of the map beside it is now going to have a whole side of it. At least that's what it looked like from the screenshots. So I think it's an expansion, and they said that they are increasing the spawn count by 1. So it's going to be a 6-man during the day, and I don't know if they're going to do the +1 at night, or if that's a current bug or something like that. So maybe we'll see 7 PMCs at night. Maybe we'll just see the 6 for day and night like the rest of the maps operate, where it's, the limit doesn't change based on time of day.
I wouldn't be opposed to going 6 or 7 during the day, so you don't have 5-mans going in and farming the boss. Because if they didn't increase it by 1, I guarantee you there would be numerous 5-man squads just farming the boss nonstop.
We would literally do that.
Oh, 100%, no doubt. But
Do we
yeah,
know if they're going to have any guards with the boss, or is it
just him.
Okay.
Now, did they confirm no guards, or did they just only talk about the boss?
I think they said it was going to be by himself with more of a killa-based AI where he's just going to charge at you. Because he does have a sledgehammer. A lot of people said that he has a mixture of the cultists, like a mixture of cultists and killa. So he's going to be kind of sneaky. And then once he locks onto you, he's coming at you with that sledgehammer, and a lot of people are going to be expecting a 1 or 2 hit dead. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Is that his only weapon?
That is his only weapon.
Nope. They said he actually has a Sega shotgun now.
I thought they pulled that. I thought they tested it and they pulled it.
Oh, I don't know. The last I heard from it was that he's going to also have that, whether or not it's at the same time, or he could spawn with that one, or just the sledgehammer. I don't know. But that's what it sounded like. I don't see why they wouldn't give him a weapon of some kind. It seems a little unfair, because, then you're just going to mow him down with a bunch of freaking M995 and call it a day. No threat at all. They have to do something there.
For sure.
Give him the Sega with a chance at AP20. If not AP20, do 50 BMG, because honestly 50 BMG is not fantastic, but it's not
give him a rainbow
awful.
mag.
Yeah, give him a rainbow mag, please.
Give him the wheel rainbow mag. That's it. Nothing else.
Rainbow.
Also, I really want to know, can we get the sledgehammer, or is it just going to be a static
unlootable?
Unlootable.
God.
Yeah, I know.
Would love to have a sledgehammer or some form of hammer.
But that does open up the fact that now I guess it counts as melee, so of course it's unlootable. Do any other bosses even have a melee weapon that they carry at all, other than Sturman and the Red Rebel, or is the Red Rebel only in this case?
I don't think I've ever paid attention.
You can find it on him.
Okay. So you can loot Sturman's melee weapon, but not...
Yeah, but there's only a freaking 1% chance that he spawns with the Red Rebel.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense then. So yeah, I don't know how I feel about the unlootable item. I get it, but at the same time,
but think about scavs. Every scav that you kill, you can loot their melee weapon.
Yeah.
Regardless if it's a butter knife, a hatchet, or the combat one, you can take it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No. So I don't know if I like the direction of I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it fits in with the theme of the game as much. Oh, this is a special magical unlootable hammer from this boss. But we'll see. We'll see how it plays.
It'll be interesting to see what the boss item is for him that you can loot.
Yeah.
Do we know if there is going to be one? Is it just going to be a labs card?
I'm assuming labs card, at least.
I would hate that, honestly. as his like boss item because like so you got Killa is it's his helmet, and I don't even think the armor is the important part, right? It's just the helmet that you need to get from him.
For quest, yeah, the armor I think is really good armor though.
Yeah,
like,
the
in and
armor's
of
great.
itself.
From the quest standpoint, Killa's helmet is the thing to get. The golden TT is the one from Reshala. The med bag is the one that you get from Sanitar, and the key is the one from Sturman. And what's Gluhar's? I actually don't even know what it is.
I mean, kind of the Ash 12, but you can buy it otherwise. But I don't think he
I
did.
get the M. I usually get the M1 from Gluhar. I got it like whenever I killed him a couple days ago.
Maybe the M1 is like the boss item from him. So like this guy can't not have one. And if they just do a key card, I'd hate that.
He does have the super fancy Zabralo armor. We have seen the picture of him where the Zabralo armor that is, I think they announced it level 6. I know it was up in the air, is like 2 podcasts away of whether it's going to be level 6 or level 5. But it does cover the arms, it does cover the stomach, and it has way better ergo and weight than the Zabralo itself.
Okay.
So
well, if it covers arms, it's going to be... It either needs to be 150 hit points or it's going to be trash tier armor. Cover, because then that wears down the durability of it and you don't get thorax protection.
Zabralo's 80?
Yeah, they're going to have to increase that if it's covering arms. Like, the Zabralo is pretty much meme armor right now. That's why the Slick and the Hex and the, not the Tac Tech, but the AACPC, that's why all those are popular. They're thorax only, because you can get a black stomach and, not die.
Right.
So, I don't know. I wish they would do something with those armors to make them a lot less appealing, to make the other ones matter more. But maybe this will be the start of them identifying and addressing some of those issues, because like, I'd love to run the Gen 4 with the arm cover more, because it'd be cool not to get my arms black, because that messes with my aim. But as it stands now, I can get shot in the shoulder a whole bunch, and then eventually the thorax armor disappears. Like, it'd be cool to split those into zones like they do the helmets right now.
I would
that
like
would
that.
make the most sense. Yeah.
Because, I mean, I guess one way to, kind of change the Zabralo to make it a little bit more meta, I guess. Because I don't think the Zabralo would ever be like a meta like the Slick or the Hex Grid or one of those. But the penalty you get for ergonomics, which makes sense, realistically makes sense. However, the minus 40% ergonomics and like minus 35% turn speed or whatever it is insane. It's 20 kilograms too. That's half of your weight right there in just your armor.
Yeah.
And I would even say that, like, I don't know, like, generally the meta emerges out of things that are really good or out of things that are completely overpowered. So I think that a lot of those armors would become a lot closer to the meta. And I think we talked about this last cast a little bit, but like, I don't know, if the Slick had more than like a 4% movement penalty and a 5% turn penalty or something like that, and didn't weigh, like 3 grams, or like, it's absurdly strong. It's absurdly best in slot. The next best in slot has 30 less hit points. Like, the Hex Grid is the second best in slot, and it is a massive downgrade from the Slick. Now, that might only be 1 or 2 bullets, but in a game where M61 runs the world at that level of play, like 30 points is a bullet. That's me killing that guy versus him killing me. Now I might be on 2-digit health after that, but okay, that did its job then. So
yeah, I don't know who it was. Someone broke down the different armors, different levels, like Karun, Slick, all that stuff, and broke it down to the bullet for each like caliber, and like, between your level 6 and your level 4 was like 3 shots, and at a full auto gun, it doesn't matter. Like, if you're running anything decent, it doesn't matter. I mean, so
click on their head.
Yeah, that's it's a one headshot
only
game.
option.
That is,
Yeah.
Playing Siege for so long and coming into that, I think that kind of helped me out a little bit more. Because in Siege, you still had different levels of armor. You had 3 levels, and you had 3 levels of speed. So the less armor, the more speed you had. And it was essentially the same way. You only had a certain amount of dots for your character. But those top like armored people would only take like 1 or 2 extra shots to the chest, and at that point it didn't matter that much. But that 1 second it takes for that bullet to come out could be the time that you can click on the head. So
yeah, I mean, with how the ammo works in this game, which I get it to a point how you have flesh damage and pen damage. If everybody just always runs the highest pen, and maybe it's actually only like 30 flesh, or maybe 32, I just don't wear armor. And it's funny to say because no matter what you do, if you get shot in the heart, whether it's high flesh or high pen, it's going through your heart, and you're probably not gonna make it. But in Tarkov, it's it's pen, so I mean, it's just like entry exit, nothing happened. You can tank a few shots. Might as well.
It still does. It still does its full flesh damage when it pins the armor. The problem is that it's a 2 or a 3 tap to the chest instead of the 1 tap that I think people seem to desire out of that. Which I get it, but at the same time, like I don't know if I would like the game more if 1 shot to the chest also killed me. It's bad enough getting headshot. Like I don't know if I want to deal with that.
If vitals were introduced, I think it would ruin a good point of the game. Because again, you're talking, if you get shot in the lung, I don't care who you are done. And your lungs take up a very big portion of your chest. Then you just put the heart in the middle of that, so you have a huge vital area plus a head all in the same kind of space. And 7N31 even going through level 6, you just need that 1 bullet to go through.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
it's an
at that
RPG.
point, yeah.
The game is an RPG. It's not a shooter, and I think that's the thing that even we forget. Like,
Yeah.
it's not meant to be a level 1 can go in against a level 50 and do just as well. That's the RPG part of it. Is no, you're gonna get absolutely shit on if you go to dorms in the first 3 minutes of customs, like as a level whatever. Don't do that until you have class 5 gear and a good gun that has some attachments and stuff to it, and you can run in and deal damage or take a shot and not just instantly get shit on. Go stick to your areas. Now that probably begs the question of should the maps be balanced better, like it seems like they did with Woods or whatever, where all the shitty stuff you need is in like the top left of the map and all the hot stuff's like the bottom center of the map. Cool, that's good, because then the level 9s or whatever aren't accidentally stumbling upon me hunting Sturman. I can't even hear their shots, they're so far away. So if they continue to do stuff like that, then I think it takes away some of the severity of that imbalance between levels and between gear accessibility. Ultimately, I think to your point, as far as like the vitals and stuff go and armor being useless, how about 995's not craftable? How about M61's not craftable? How about they put those ammos in the same tier pool as AP Psi for 762
Like
and
founded rate only.
Yeah, fur only. Like, now I get the arguments, well, the top tier players will... I don't care what you do to the top tier players or like how you they're going to shit on everyone on the map they're on. The good thing is there's only a small fraction of those, and the rest of us are gonna we're gonna usually have a fighting chance. Now we might run into Landmark here and there. That sucks. We play in the US, maybe we get knocked by Landmark with his pistol. Like, Landmark could kill you with PSO, in a 9mm. He doesn't need anything good. Like, he's just that good. So why worry about that? I mean, let the ammo be $3, $4, $5 a pop, or even the 338 ammo. The AP is like what, $30,000 a bullet or rubles a bullet? Like, good. That's good. That you have to fucking pick. You're not like, I'm just gonna go
70.
Yeah, I'm not just gonna go full auto spray every single corner or whatever. But
yeah, I don't know. I feel like you can quote me on it. If they ever introduce vitals, at least in the way that I'm thinking of it, I will just not ever play the game again, to be honest with you. Because how many times do you get shot in the foot, regardless of not if you died, but once the raid's over, you look at your damage report, and it says, our leg, 12x70 buckshot, and then your head says, fragment from 12x70 buckshot. If they put vitals in, you get shot in the foot, there's a chance you just instantly die.
Yep.
I don't think they would
that.
do vitals in the current balance or the current scheme of it. Like, they'd have to change how a lot of things work.
Right.
So,
by the way, 338 Lapua went up to 65k.
yeah, so like
It's triple.
there's clearly a way around that stuff where the class 4 and class 5 armor would matter a lot more, and it not just be against scabs, because like past the first 3 days of a wipe, armor's only useful against low level players and scaps. Pretty much is kind of the concept. Unless you're running a slick. The slick has saved me an extra few seconds where they killed me by blacking all my other limbs and my chest was fine when I went down or whatever. That sucks, but like that's probably on me to not have turned around and fought faster or something like that. I don't really know.
Let me ask you a question. This goes for everyone. So you know how if you go to your character, you go to your status or whatever, you can see the health for each individual body part, right? Each one has a different value for the most part. There's no values within there for armor at all. So like, obviously you see your durability on your character, that's fine, whatever. But you know, if you're wearing your USEC armor, right? I want to go to my character screen, see in green that it says I have 35 health on my chest, but then below it in blue it says I have like 85 durability left, and I can just see that number go down there. Because at least for me, I have that screen open more than I do my inventory because I really only care about how much health I have left because I never had the chance to reload for the most part. That being said, I would really like it, and I could be completely wrong here. I would love it if the armor that says I'm protected in the thorax and the stomach and the arms, when you go into your character, you see an armor value for the stomach part, your chest part, and your arms. And instead of it being a cumulative, 80 durability, your chest has 75 durability. Your arms have 20 durability. Your stomach has 40 durability. You get shot in the stomach, that's the one that goes down. And like it'd be beneficial because if you repair it, you're just repairing that one part and you're not taking the rest of the armor with you. I get shot in the arm once with M995. My armor goes from, I lose like 20% of it right then and there, and then I got to spend 45, 50K just to repair it and lose more percentage on it. Like, let me lose it on that part of the damn armor. I don't know. I don't know if that's a good idea. I don't know if they would do it because I'm sure they'd have to rework armor completely, especially with doing the armor plate values. But I would just like to see that.
Mechanics exist. It's helmets and face shields and ears and stuff. Like I feel like that would be a lot less work than we probably realize because the whole customizable plate stuff that got feature frozen until after release. So like they would have to hook into the existing mechanic. But what do you think, Shadow? We haven't heard from you at all this podcast so far.
All right, I'm super quiet. No, I think it would be, I don't know, it sounds like it would be a major overhaul, but you have a good point that they already kind of have the mechanic there, but I don't know how you bring that in a way that makes it balanced and usable, because what happens when that part completely loses its durability? Like, do you just scrap it then? Is it?
Well, I mean, when it's down to 0, you make the choice. Do you still wear the armor and just not have arms anymore? They could, I mean, if they really wanted to get crazy with this, and this is just how my brain works, make it to the point where, hey, once your shoulder pad or whatever is protecting your, like, your elbow and up hits 0 and you can't repair it anymore, cut it off. Take the arm durability away and get back, like, 3% movement speed or turn speed or whatever.
I think that would probably force it to be more modular than they would reasonably support. I like that idea,
Right.
Yeah.
but I think that's probably not needlessly complex, more complex than they will add on.
Yeah.
Whereas something like the helmets, and I mean, even that, I don't know, like even in their existing stuff, they could introduce, and we'll pick on the Gen 4 because that's the one I'm familiar with, Gen 4 arms. You would have a slot for your arms in the Gen 4 armor. You wouldn't have it in armors that don't support it, but and maybe it was only kind of like the helmets. You can't put any face shield on any helmet, but you could go rebuy your Gen 4 arms or your Gen 4. And then some could be comboed, where I kind of get that, where it's like your chest and your stomach, it's one big piece. That's
Right.
how armor works. If you get shot lower, like that upper part is compromised too. It's not just that little hole that got compromised, but like
Right.
the pieces that are clearly separate, it would make sense to slot them out like ears and face shields on helmets and let them be independently changed out or be taken off, like you said. And then you lose the arm protection, but then the Gen 4 assault and the Gen 4 whatever doesn't have to be 2 items anymore. That would make a lot of sense. It's Gen 4.
Yeah.
And then you put on these extra couple of pieces based on, just like your helmet, based on the decision of how much you want to spend and how much protection you want. What's the trade-off there to the turn speed and the weight and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's Tarkov. It's supposed to pretty much be not Wild Wild West, but it's a modern Wild Wild West. I mean, you do what you have to do in this time period, right?
Yeah.
Like, you lose part of your armor, you just wear it or don't. You lose your little stomach flap that's on like your TV rig. Do you just cut it off, or do you try to? I don't know, but I mean, the thing we always say, it's a game at the end of the day, and obviously the more work we do it, the less of a fun game this becomes and more of just work. But,
Yeah. I mean, it's so bring up the modular part. So it's funny you bring up the Gen 4. And I've never noticed this before, but the Gen 4, and after looking up a couple pictures as we're talking about it, the Gen 4 is the same armor, just like you have the Gen 4 Assault, which is just the top piece in the arms. You have the full one, which is the Gen 4 HMK plus the assault arms. It's all modular already. It's just I'm curious if they've
for some reason.
Right. I'm curious if they've indirectly put it in as something that possibly you can do down the line. Like if they sell the Gen 4, like you could buy Gen 4 HMK as like a preset, and then you could buy the arms for like the assault, and it goes on it. Like,
I think that would make the most sense. And I'm gonna turn the light on 1 second because my camera's doing color weird.
but yeah, like with the Gen 4 specifically, it being like that definitely seems like that may have been somewhat introduced in some way, but was probably like either pushed back or was going to be pushed back till whenever they do plates, because then they probably decided to do the plate thing.
Yeah, and then they feature Frozen that. So I wonder if they'll revisit that. But that does take us a little far off topic of the update and of factory stuff. So the other part of the update, probably the more notable part as far as like day-to-day life, is scav karma.
Yeah.
Is it actually going to do anything?
Kind of. I mean, in theory says it will do something.
So I have trust issues.
If
I'm sorry, if I see a scav player and I have anything decent on me, you're dying.
Of course.
I'm sorry.
That's the choice. That's the decision you're met with. Do you risk your karma to get out your labs card? You don't risk it on an MGT anymore, or a military cable. You definitely don't risk it on, I got a foul, I'll just get out, or an SVDS, I'll just get out.
Yeah.
But for early wipe, 400 or 500K for a labs card, I would, honestly, so we're all kind of buddies. I would take a group karma hit. You know, if I really needed that cash, maybe I'd shoot you, Mumbles, and be like, sorry, bro, I really needed that. Like, I would definitely take it like an AI, like, karma hit. You know what I mean? Like that, for sure. So, isn't that part of it?
So, we don't know how significant of a hit it's going to be either.
Yeah.
And I don't really know how they're going to manage how you have good karma. Is it just being in the raid for a long time as it's scav? Is it not shooting a single person? You know, is it extracting and leaving? What happens if I get shot at by a player scav? Do I instantly not worry about it? Or is it like, if I get baited by a player scav shooting bullets at me but not hitting me, but then I shoot the scav and I get the registered hit first, do I lose the karma? Like they got to figure that part out. I'm sure they do. They wouldn't say they're implementing it if they didn't have it figured out, but we just don't know.
Or squad stuff. Like, what if I have really good karma and I go in a squad with XO who has awful karma? Am I going to get punished for being with him? Am I going to get shot at? Or is he only going to get shot at?
No, he would be the only one to be shot at.
So if we're walking close together, he can be my meat shield for my bad karma?
In theory, that
could
happen. Well, I mean, unless they do the thing where like they don't shoot if there's like another AI in front of them. They don't shoot at you.
In front of is with a game that has the synchronization issues that it does. I won't even call it desync. Like, all games face synchronization challenges. In front of was 400 milliseconds ago. So that's what I worry. That's what I fear, at least. So maybe it'll be like the current scav hostility, where I can go shoot a player scav that didn't even look at me right in the face. Scavs don't care. Like, player on player violence. It seems like, so the last couple patches that they've done that have adjusted scav behavior, they shoot randomly now. They'll lean around corners and shoot at you and stuff. They don't just do the weird QE lean, but like, it gets harder and harder to tell what's an AI and what's not. I wonder if that's because they know ultimately, if a player shoots another player, it can't affect anything because they don't know what that player was doing. A player could be hanging out there waiting by an exfil for me, and I'm like, I better go shoot that guy, and he's like, nah, come over here. I've got a shotgun. Just come here.
If they do that where it's like player on player violence isn't affecting karma at all, then there's no point in putting the karma system in.
The whole part was to stop player on player scav violence.
And I personally love player on player scav violence. I think it's hilarious, but like, I think the biggest decision that people are really going to make and again, it comes back to how much karma do you lose if you shoot a scav, or is it tiered? If you shoot a random, Timmy, freaking AI scav not doing anything, you might lose 0.2. If you kill a player, you might lose 0.4. If you kill like a killer or something, you might lose like a whole freaking point. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Another thing they could do if they wanted to like eliminate a lot of the challenges is make it bullets fired or melee hits. If you fire bullets in a raid as a scav, that lowers your karma, because then that takes care of, oh, well, he was shooting at me, baiting me. Like, no, just don't fire bullets then.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess as a scav, your goal really isn't to be shooting your gun randomly. It's to be finding new loot and surviving another day. So
yeah, now PMCs, you're supposed to be fighting the PMCs. I think lore-wise, they want the lore and/or gameplay balance-wise, they want player scavs playing together. Shadow, didn't you have some crazy good experience with a bunch of player scavs the other day? What was that all about?
I mean, it started as a really good experience. I'm so miffed about this.
What happened?
I was in reserve with one friend, and we went down into the bunker, and we found like another like very obviously player scav, but he was like leaning and like being nice, so like we didn't bother him. And then within like, I don't know, a minute, there were 5 of us just dancing around in the bunker, not killing each other, and like I think we were all being cool and like being generous with loot and stuff. And then I don't know if it was a raider or PMC ended up killing the person like I was playing with. And then like I went to go like check his body because he said he had something on him, and I like drank a juice, and one of the other nice guys shot me.
I mean,
I was gonna share the loot though.
The second someone dies in a group like that, it becomes just a free for all, though.
We all just looked at him. We were all kind of doing the whole like pointing at his body with our body.
So there was
like.
I had a similar experience to what you had on Interchange.
At that point, though.
Yeah, I mean, those play like when you can come up against random people with zero communication. Yeah, you can lean, you can squat, you can do whatever you need to. Sometimes it doesn't matter. Like there was a time at Interchange where I found a blatant like new player. Like he was like you could tell a brand new player to a game. Like they just jumped on the PC for the first day. Yeah. Like he was very bot turny, like kind of like just very bot like. And like we teabagged at each other, and then I went over to him. We teabagged again, and then I kind of showed him around the backside of Ollie. We went over, we looted some stuff. I showed him some spots to loot. Like I was just sitting there, like with my flashlight flashing, and like kind of turning to him, turning to the box, and showing him all these loot spots. And then 2 other guys come up, and we all teabag at each other. And then we kind of like follow each other around. We can loot the backside of Ollie, loot the backside of Goshen. And then they split off. I think they went to Idea. Me and my buddy went downstairs in the parking garage, looted around some more. We went out, and my buddy died. We went out to this trailer, and some guy was sitting there, and he died. And I killed the guy, though. I avenged him. I was happy about that.
That's good.
But, like, I know. I talked to my new little Timmy boy, and... I mean,
maybe I'm the problem then. Maybe I'm the reason scav karma's a thing. Because if I came across little bot Timmy doing his thing, first day ever, Tarkov, I would have gone up and be like, oh, hey, friend, you're dead. Welcome to Tarkov. You know what? Go back. Figure out what went wrong for you, and don't let it happen again. All right.
You would echo both, though.
Hold on. It depends on my mood. So sometimes I'm in a mood to shit on player scavs at their exfil while I'm hanging out on top of Black Pond. Not exfil camping, mind you. Just hanging out, shooting anybody that's near me. And then some days I'm in a mood to not deal with that. I think that ultimately I'm driven by... I know it'll happen to me first, so I might as well lean into it and be like, haha, I fucking ruined that guy's day. I bet he's so mad he's going to close the game. Yeah, that's fun, and it gets out some of my frustration, but it is less fun than the experience Shadow described. Or the one time me and Lidecker, the guy that introduced us to this game, we ran into Black Knight's garage, and the scav had killed all of the boss and the boss guards. He's probably just a good player or whatever, and got some good positioning, had a good gun, and he shared all the loot with us and stuff. And I even wrote a little expose on Reddit about it, like hoping to find that guy and stuff like that. Because, you know, like that was a lot more fun. I fucking hate Alexa so much. Okay, anti-sponsorship warning. Amazon, you can go fuck yourself. Anyway, so
well,
Play on
shit.
Twitch.
All right.
Twitch is on my ass.
Redacted.
you're not a Twitch streamer. What do you care about?
No,
They don't
you
care
are.
if I say. Yeah, they don't care. They don't. They would care if I had somehow demonetized it.
We'll do Hot Tub Podcast.
Perfect. But no, so like I think that the player interaction and stuff like DayZ and some games like that makes it a lot more fun of a game and less like a shitty desyncy COD. So yeah, Steve, you and I are the problem, but we didn't start Tarkov day one going, I want to ruin other people's day.
Yeah, no, our day was ruined by someone else.
We were made like this over and over until, yeah, if I see a scav wiggle at me, I Q lean and then I shoot him. Because I don't want him to drop shot on me.
I went.
I pretend to be nice until I shoot him in the face.
Yeah.
I just really hope that whoever was somehow stumbles across this little podcast. And I want you to know I was going to share with you. Fuck you, buddy.
Yeah,
and see-
I went 2 weeks, XO. Like, 2 full weeks of doing scav runs 3-4 webs ago before I knew any of you. And just telling myself, I'm going to be nice. Because every time that I would try to be, or every time a scav would be nice to me, you know, I killed them, essentially, right? And I got to the point where I was being nice, doing the lean, like, hey, we're cool, be friends. They would lean at me, blow my head off every time. So it got to the point where I was like, you know what? Everyone in this game sucks that plays it. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you say. The lean means nothing. The cheeky breakies mean nothing. It is the first person to pull the trigger, and that is it. And I will be that first person.
And wouldn't it be a lot more fun if every time you scavved in, you went and found the other scavs and tried to hunt down the PMCs that you knew were over at marked room?
Oh, that'd be fantastic. I've had those before. We've done that. And the second the PMC died, I get stabbed in the back.
So
Yeah, and imagine a system that fights against that and really encourages you, hey, go fight raiders. Hey, go fight
Oh.
PMCs. Don't fight each other.
Right. I love that. But then there's dumbasses like me where, okay, hey, buddy, I know you can't hear me. There's a PMC in that room. Let's go kill him. Just kidding. I shoot that guy in the head first because it's funnier to do so. And then I try and just rush the PMC and die myself. That is more entertaining to me. So I don't care about the scav karma thing at the end of the day. Unless Fence gives you some really cool stuff that you can get, I will murder everybody. I will be the dude on Tarkov with the worst karma.
See,
I think. Will they start you at lower health like they used to because of that, though? If you have really shitty karma, will you spawn in with 97 health and no meds? Like,
I don't care.
they can make
So-
they can make it unplayable.
from what I understand is, so you spawn in with less gear the lower the level. The higher the level you can spawn with better gear. You also have the possibility of spawning in, or not spawning in, but getting back non-insured stuff at a smaller rate, and then as you level up, you get a bigger chance to get uninsured stuff back. I
Does that
don't
include labs?
I don't
no?
think so.
Okay.
I think that is always excluded. As far as I understand, you never get anything back from labs. Now, I don't know how that works, because I never go into a raid being like, oh, I'm not going to insure anything. I'm one of those people, I insure everything. I insure some low-level keys so I can drop them in a bush and get them back later. Because if I pick up a key card and my docs case is full, my butt's full of GP coins and stuff like that, I'll just drop a key in a bush or on the floor and pick up that key card and put it in the docs case. I don't know what that means. Now, if I had something on my body, did I pick up a MGT or a military cable? The person who killed me didn't take it. Do I get that? Like, is that what that's talking about?
No, I think
not-
it's talking like things that you bring into the raid, the not found in raid stuff that you didn't insure, that you started the raid with. I think
So
that's
a non-existent pool of gear that only players that like a top tier like Ilk in Mag's chat, that dude just walks around and kills the whole map, and he's
Yeah.
not cheating. He's just that good. So
Ilk's
he doesn't
nuts.
insure his shit because he runs such kitted out stuff. He'll never get a gun back, and usually he doesn't die. He, at one point he said he had
Wow.
like a 68% serve rate. For as aggressively as he plays, that's insanely good. That guy doesn't insure. That guy doesn't give a fuck about. So he doesn't run a scav either. Guarantee that much. I feel
100%.
I feel like the group of people that aren't insuring things, like, huh? Like who is that helping? The people that play labs, like, and ilk?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I guess like Mumble said, it kind of depends on what that percentage really is for getting back gear. And maybe it's not like, if you kill everyone in the lobby and then you die and that raid ends, even if it was 100% chance of getting your gear back, it might not be everything. It might be one piece of gear and it's picked at random. It could be your freaking balaclava for all you care, and you don't get your gun back or anything. You know, that would be fine with me. I would love nothing more than to like have my gun insured, but not insure my helmet, and then there's the chance that I die and I can still get that helmet back. I'm cool with that. But
Why
like,
not
I
just
don't
insure it.
Well, if you're strapped for cash and you have to decide, do you insure the gun, the chest armor, or the helmet? And depending
Yeah.
on the gun you have, that gun insurance could be 60K.
Yeah, I would say like low level people with no money. The time where I went down to 700 rubles, those people are gonna like benefit from that the most. But the other thing is, does that include my Salewas, IFAKs, pain meds, Propadols? Does it
That would be
include that
worth it.
stuff? Because if
That would be awesome.
If I
Ammo?
can get my food back,
Ooh.
oh my yeah, ammo. I can
Mhm.
drop my ammo if I need to. I mean, I'm probably not gonna drop MA55A1 and up, but like, if I can get my food back, because I hate buying food. Not gonna lie, I don't know why I hate it. It's cheap. I have
That's
money
like
now, but still
15K
hate
for a
it.
water.
Yeah, it's expensive as shit for what it is. Like,
Right.
no, it's not cheap compared to other things. But
Right.
hold on, let's back up real quick though, because I'll ask Shadow this because she's the newest player to Tarkov and probably at one point at least was the least sweaty. Have you ever been so broke that you couldn't afford insurance?
I don't think so, because at the time, like, I wasn't like prepared to spend that much money on something. Like, I would just run whatever shit that I got off my scav or something.
In my experience, like, what game are you playing that you don't have the money for insurance? Like,
Well, early on, if you don't, so here's the thing: if you don't have the Edge of Darkness edition, I don't remember how much money you start out with. I think it's like 80K, maybe
It's not
100K.
much.
gotcha. That would be the okay. Gotcha.
One,
That
you don't
makes
have enough, but I will get into this with what we do on wipes. Because I have EOD and you start with like 300K, I spend half of it and I upgrade everything I can in the hideout. So then I only start with 150K.
Yeah.
Whatever the case is. I go into a raid and maybe it's like I've played the game for years. I'm going to go into the raid with gear to start with and just kill a bunch of people and take their stuff and make a quick buck. Okay, well now I've put on all my best gear and that just cost me 60K to insure. If I die, I'm sub 100K in no gear.
totally fair.
You then get, aside from doing the scav run, obviously, that you would do after that, what do? Do you buy a gun? Do you just not? I don't know.
So
That's
this
the only thing I
wipe,
can.
this wipe, I went from 10 mil. So the first time I broke 10 mil, I spent it all on the hideout. I mean, I dumped my money. I dumped it. I had 769 rubles or something stupid, and I didn't think about my gear first. I spent my money first, went to my stash. I was like, I literally had like one Yuli, a couple M4s, and a couple AKs, and that was it. And it took me forever, and I didn't insure anything. I couldn't insure anything. I was trying to run scavs, but at that point you had like a 25-minute scav timer, and I was like strapped for cash. So I guess that possibility of someone being low money, getting that one Yuli rig that might be zeroed out. I don't care. Make it zeroed out. Make whatever you get back be at like some of the lowest durability. Maybe not so much guns. Maybe drop it down to 50. Because now that we have gun malfunctions coming in as well, which we'll talk about here in just a second, that's going to help those players and those people that get to those points. Because even though I had 10 mil, I literally spent it all. When the ACEs were like 4.5 mil or something stupid like that. Yeah. Like, it was... I went down so fast, and then I didn't think about the periodically, let's buy the expensive stuff. It's like, no, let's buy it all at once. Put myself in a hole and see how I can dig out.
That makes sense. Well, in the non-EOD accounts, I didn't even think about that. That is absolutely important, and I'm a big fan of EOD. I bought it 4 days after buying this game. The game should not be unplayable for non-EOD accounts, and in fact, it probably should not be quite as clearly pay to win with the stash upgrades as it is now. I don't agree that it should be like whatever 7 million rubles or some shit. Like, I bought Edge of Darkness to support the developers and to get a larger stash, like day one, because I played Path of Exile. I bought a bunch of stash tabs. Like, I don't want to deal with this shit.
Yeah.
But it should not be where they're truly at a day-to-day gameplay disadvantage ever. I would rather no one have Edge of Darkness than have an advantage over other people.
I don't think it's a disadvantage.
Before the hideout existed, you couldn't upgrade your stash XO. If you didn't have EOD, you could never increase that. You were stuck with the 12 by 12 grid or whatever the hell it is that you start with.
Disgusting.
Here's the thing. I don't think it's a huge disadvantage. I think it's the gear fear aspect. I really want to, at some point, buy another standard account because it forces you to use the gear. I have 13 slicks and like 15 Altons right now. I'm still not using them. I used my first Alton the other day because someone was like, "You have 15 Altons?" I was like, "Yeah, you know what? Fuck it, I'll throw one on." I lasted one raid and then I died with it.
I will never use an Alton.
I love Altons. They're great.
I use them for factory and labs. That's about it.
The one time I used an Alton, I got one tapped by BP, and I realized it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm just not wearing helmets anymore.
I was there for that.
It doesn't matter.
I was there for that. You were
The last
livid.
time I went in with an Alton, and a Hex Grid, and I was the goddamn outdoor killer in Interchange, and I made it out of that raid after killing like 3 or 4 PMCs. Out in the front, in the grass, like that grassy area, like by the roads and shit, like, I was just unstoppable. Shit bouncing off my head. Yeah, you were there. That shit was wild. That'll never happen again. So, like, I know, like, I don't know for a fact. I would bet money, though. They absolutely buffed helmets this wipe. Helmets have saved me over a dozen times this wipe that I can remember. Like, and I've seen mags get saved by them a bunch.
I took 3 headshots at Old Gas and Customs in a row. The same raid of fighting like 4 or 5 scabs. I got headshot 3 times and walked out and won. I was like, this is a Peter's helmet too, just the plain green one.
Mm-hmm. Fox Hunter hit somebody twice with Ingolnik, and it ricocheted both shots off of their Ulok. He didn't get his Shooter Born in Heaven kill from that. He got fucking robbed because it ricocheted twice. Ingolnik. What? It was crazy. So I'm at least happy about that.
Awful.
And I gotta say, like, the guy that won the Punisher tournament in Asia, big on helmets. I gotta listen to him.
Oh yeah,
that guy's great.
Yeah, and that is, like, I feel like helmets are somewhat situational where I only wear a face shield helmet combo because I got buckshotted to the face and fuck that guy. But like generally speaking, yeah, the Alton is really good for factory or even reserve. I feel like depending on what you're doing in reserve, it could be really good.
Yep.
The Shattered Mask is really good for labs because I want the audio in labs, and Alton's not stopping anything but Raider shots, or unless like some little Timmys and labs, like anyone that's not carrying top tier ammo, I'm not worried about killing me. It is a Raider helmet, or it is a minor ricochet chance off my face for me to put down a round back at him. And then some maps, I don't know, like Woods. How badly do you really need ears on Woods?
So here's the thing with Woods. I hate running top tier gear in Woods for the fact that I'm going to get domed across the map by M61 or a Mosin, where a helmet or level 5 or even level 6 armor is not going to matter.
Yeah,
like,
so
dome Woods, I literally buy the level 3 green armor and run a penis helmet.
Yeah.
One, it's green, so I blend in, and 2, it's cheap, and it's literally just to back off scavs. That's it. People that run, I love killing people when they run slicks on Woods. It's like, you are so dumb.
Yeah, they're not sitting on 13 slicks in their inventory like some sort of monster.
Yeah.
What idiots they are.
I know, right?
I think you still have some gear fear after how many wipes and how many thousands of hours playing? Mumbles, run those slicks, damn it. Did you not see my screenshot? I am the tan man now.
So,
I love that picture.
Thank you.
I'm going to pick a color and I think I'm going to stick with one color. Just so I might go either all black or all green. Because I like Karun. Slicks are black. Hexes are black. Green, I don't know what green armor there is besides the level 4 and the green slick now.
Well, there's the...
Steve and I already called emo PMCs, so you're going to be green bastard. I'm sorry.
It's MCR Tarkov all day, every day.
So I have to be green.
The Zuck 6A is green.
That's the 80
Does-
durability Titan one.
Does
right?
samurai armor count?
Yeah, I mean,
It's like greenish
autumn.
brown.
It's like autumn color.
Zabralo.
Hey,
I'll just run
well-
Zabralo.
If you're willing to run a Zabralo or a ninja armor in every raid, samurai armor in every raid, then I support it. I support your decision.
I need to buy some mules.
I feel like
Mhm.
I love this idea because we'll look cool, but it's not going to matter because we even wear the same. I mean, we know what armband colors we use, and it means nothing. I have the red armband, and I still get shot multiple times by Shadow because I have a red armband.
I think
So it's like,
Red armband though.
I think we need to switch to like blue or yellow because those seem to be the least worn.
yeah.
Like
So
I would just
I
not
don't
wear an
wear-
armband.
I don't wear it for team identification. I wear it so it's like, hey, Shadow and I are going to push 2-story, y'all push 3-story. Shadow knows what little dude bouncing around AD spamming to follow because she sees a glimpse of the armband. I use it for inter-team person identification. I don't ever use it for like identifying the enemy. If I have to look at your armband to figure out if you're the enemy, A, our team comms failed entirely, and B, you're already dead. Like, I'm going to go like this and apologize later. I'm not going to go, wait, he was wearing a purple one. Let me think back here. Mumbles also had a purple one on. I think Shadow was wearing a green one.
Yeah.
I'd be
I've
back in
come
my
so many
You
times.
think
Yeah.
Shadow is green band gang.
green band gang.
And I have a black.
Yeah,
That'd
I'm
be
I'm
awesome.
white band gang because it blends, but it's still technically an armband.
I
So
just wish I could pay like $20 and just get a cosmetic of my choice. I don't care. I really don't. Just let me get the USEC sweatshirt and the black pants to start the game with. That's all I want. I don't care about anything else. I'll pay any amount of money. I've already paid for the freaking Edge of Darkness edition, so
yeah, you clearly don't have financial skills. You will buy more. Yeah, I would too. Though I do think though, in that vein, if they do introduce that stuff as MTX, there should be a green and a dark. Like there needs to be your different camos that are accessible via quests. That way you're not at a disadvantage. And then I also like the Killa outfit and stuff being locked behind achievements. But there should be
yeah.
37 different green shirts and pants I can run for real money, or I can run the quest unlock green shirt and green pants, so I'm more camo and woods, because otherwise I can pay to be harder to see. That should not ever exist.
Right.
But like your point, you know, like the special nice stuff, or like I bought the sandstone color shirt last night. Like, yeah, there's a bunch of tans. Like, let me get one tan via questing in normal progress, and then let me buy one that literally says Tan Man across the front, has a picture of Aqua FPS on it. Like, I would give real money for that shit for sure.
So I think the shirt Shadow wears is a bear. I don't think I've ever seen anyone wear that shirt. And like, think about camouflage in this game. Camouflage doesn't really matter right now because everyone's playing so fast. It's all about movement, not camouflage. So seeing Shadow's black and white striped shirt, I know immediately who that is. That I've never seen anyone wear that jacket. I've seen some people starting to wear the white jacket in squads, so I don't know if that's becoming more of a popular thing for at least USEX.
I hate that white jacket.
I do too.
I hate it. I got bullied out of wearing jeans. I can't wear jeans anymore.
No, you didn't get bullied. You got TK'd out of wearing jeans. So let's be clear. I also used to wear the jeans, and I
Earned the bullying.
Can we get a pair of white
Only
pants?
blame it on what you're wearing.
I would love white pants.
so check it out. Oh my god.
Oh, that'd be so. Just let me put a collared shirt and the white pants on. I'd be so
Yeah.
happy.
Can we
I'm gonna go kill
please?
some people on interchange, and I got a tea time later. I'd be so happy.
God damn it,
Yes.
Steve. No, so I stopped wearing the jeans.
You wouldn't be doing the exact same thing.
I might. No, so I actually was at Cottages with one of our IRL Lidecker. You played with them, but both of y'all have. And I went in to one of the fence lines. I was like, oh, there's a scav, and I like went past the fence a little bit. So here's the fence. Here's goddamn. Here's me, and I just go around the other side of the fence, kill the scav, and I come back around, and he shoots me. And I'm like, what the hell? And instead of him being like, oh, I'm sorry, he was like, you look like a scav.
Do you take it out on me?
No, that was his response was, it's your fault for wearing blue jeans into a raid. So after that raid, I changed pants. I have not worn jeans since then, and I have not been TK'd since then by Lidecker. I think I've only been TK'd by Shadow since then, and it was with a grenade.
How did TK that many people?
Last wipe
you
you got.
ran into that grenade, though.
You literally killed me twice in the same night, the day we met.
What were
It
you
wa-
wearing?
It is what it is.
Okay.
We even did it as scavs. We shot each other a bunch. It happened. It just did. It was a bad day.
Scabs are tough. I also think you should be able to choose your
And I
scab.
threw that
gear.
grenade away from you, and you ran after it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that if I did that, though.
No, not you. That's Exo.
Oh.
Yeah, she's talking about me. It was at Pier, and she threw it on the little tiny fucking road part of Pier.
Nice.
Because I have a lot of options other than that little tiny narrow place. I can jump in the water, or I can go fuck myself and die to a grenade. And
And you chose port number 2.
because I can't jump in the water because the game will not let me. So yeah, I really had one option, but she blames me for running into it. So you're gonna run into a door later, Shadow. Plans next wipe, because we're getting
Oh.
close on time.
One more thing before we go on the plans for next wipe.
Okay.
So one thing I definitely want to highlight is the lighting on Interchange and Resort will be drastically changed
Yes.
per the podcast.
Thank God.
Interchange will be
Thank God.
changed again, lighting wise, and Resort will have better lighting in the hallways and especially the L's there. So when you first cross the Sky Bridge, and then the hallways turning down towards that spot is also going to be fixed because those spots are so dark. A lot of the rooms will be fixed. They didn't mention anything about the basement. I don't think the basement's that bad.
Basement's not
For
bad.
some
The
reason, I
basement
feel like the
makes
basement's the
sense.
best.
It makes sense though because there are no windows around it. Like, how would light get in there? Like Interchange in some of those stores that aren't, a bunch of glass windows right
Yeah.
under a skylight in the mall. I understand those being dark. Why the hell is the middle of the mall dark? There's a
Yeah.
skylight, and it's 2 p.m.
Yeah,
This shit
know.
should be really bright. And someone shared some pictures on Reddit of like an abandoned mall. And yeah, there were dark areas, and the center was way, way brighter. Like a lot of those things
Yeah.
use natural lighting and stuff like that. Plus, there's power in the mall, because you turn it on at power station and stuff. So like that should probably trigger more lights in some of
That would
those
be
really,
cool.
really dark stores, stuff like that. Yeah, like I think that they could stand. And then, speaking of the lighting, when they moved to Unity 19, apparently all lights will be interactable. They're going to be making that change. Like certain types of light
God.
sources in Unity, current version of Unity, are not interactable. They're like global light sources or something. But then a lot of the bulbs you can shoot out are. But like the spotlights in Interchange and Resort and stuff like that, you're just screwed on. That is changing. Yeah, that is.
not being able to shoot a floodlight. Like,
Right.
freaking break the damn floodlight.
Especially at night.
Or, I really would like to see that taken a little bit further, and those work lights and those floodlights and stuff. How about you let me unplug it or turn it off, or use my melee weapon to cut the cable, or anything other than fire a loud ass bullet into a light? Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm home from work, or I'm gonna go to bed. Man, it's dark. Let me grab my handgun and start shooting my light bulbs out. Like, I don't do that IRL. So the lights up
don't
in the
live in
mall and
Russia.
stuff. Yeah, well, I would just drink the vodka and shoot. But no, like, it makes sense for certain lights you can't reach or you wouldn't reasonably have a switch for, just like the generator in Interchange. Those little
Right.
generators that are so fucking noisy.
Yeah.
I hate them.
You know what every generator has? Has a big red kill switch on it, and it has since the 80s. I would go like
Yeah.
that to it.
I mean, that would
Yeah.
even like, there would be a down part to that too, because like if you hit that button and someone was near you and like that generator just shut off, I'm gonna run over there. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect. Yeah, so I would like to see some more of that interactability and stuff like that. So,
That'd be cool.
yeah.
but yeah,
I feel like we should probably gloss over the weapon durability changes because it's going to
Yeah.
affect scab weapons and it's not going to affect PMC weapons because, let's be real, who has ever gotten a weapon under 75% durability?
I hit 80 the other day with one of my guns. That was the first time.
I've gone wipes and wipes ago before Unity, I'd gotten a gun down to about 45, and that was because you could have a full 5-man in factory, and that was it. We would stand in catwalk, and I went through the same gun 4 nights in a row, 30 raids a night. I got it down to 40%. I got afraid to use it because I didn't want to use it anymore, and then I ended up dying with it. But like, I still
Yeah.
have never seen a gun jam to this day.
And it's in the
Yeah.
game now. Guns can currently jam. and so the one thing I do want to touch on, and I think we had talked about it in Discord a little bit, and I saw someone suggest it on Reddit. It needs to be a workbench craft to repair your weapon, and it needs to take time in the game. Otherwise, it's a button you click. There's no weight to it at all. And I'm a big fan of the weight stuff, like not WAIT, but WEIGHT. Things should carry weight. Yeah, my M4 that I've survived some raids and need to repair up or whatever, it's going to take 3 hours and 30 minutes to take it all apart, clean it all, repair the stuff that needs to be repaired or whatever, file down. Like, sure, that'd be good, because then I'm faced with the choice of, well, what weapon do I take in the next raid?
I mean, should you do the same thing for armor then?
Sure. I don't necessarily have an issue with that. Armor is one of those things that I feel like it is more of a consumable than a gun should be. But if I had to pick one direction or the other, make all repairs like that. Make a helmet repair take longer. The more it's degraded, and also it should be shorter timer for who you choose, and not just a higher cost for a slightly higher max durability. But like mechanics gonna be faster than prepper.
Yeah,
sure, that makes sense. I'll pay twice as much to get my exfil out sooner than I would if I have a dickhead to repair. It's like, give it to prepper, I'll get it back tomorrow. Like it's almost another form of insurance. It's like, hey, this got beat up, I'm gonna be without it until tomorrow, or I'm gonna be without it until 2 hours, 4 hours from now, something. So I really hope to see something like that, and not just right click repair, spend money, because at that point, why not at the end of the raid let the apply button repair all my stuff too? And at that point, why not I shouldn't even die. I should just respawn in raids, right? And just let me pick a loadout. Like, why not just go play COD? Like I think they need to be careful to not over streamline things, because it's an RPG, it's an ARPG, a hardcore ARPG shooter, not a desyncy COD.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of having to repair the guns. I think that's fine. I feel like I would want to see at that point though, like they would have to implement a repair skill.
See, I'd be okay with that.
With a chance that either A, the gun doesn't repair as high as you wanted it to or said it was going to, but it still costs the same amount, or B, maybe if your gun is below a certain threshold, when you try to repair it, you might just break the fucking gun. And that's it.
That'd be great.
But also,
you can easily destroy one of those springs and not have another spring. That gun is gone until you get another one, or whatever the case is. You just sell it.
I'd love that.
I'd say give me a kit too that could temporarily, not temporarily, but like get me out of the raid. If I'm 75% through the raid, I kill a couple scavs, didn't take their gun, and all of a sudden I go to shoot at someone and my gun blows apart. Like, maybe not necessarily blows apart, but let's say one of the springs in like the gas tube, or that goes around the tube for the pistol. Like, those are very common. Allow me to take the gun apart right there, because theoretically in real life, in a minute, anyone trained can strip a pistol, replace that spring, throw that back in, and
there's only
make
like 5 parts to a pistol.
Right. But like, I mean, M4s, trained troopers can get it done real quick. So like, if I had that spring or that pin or something like that, allow me to do that. But maybe the pin's not quite made for that. Maybe it's not great quality, so it may not survive as long. Maybe it only repairs 15 or 20 durability, but maybe that 15 or 20 durability goes pretty quick. Maybe they change it so that durability goes down faster. Because I think there was talks of them changing how quick durability goes down.
Maybe you even had an in-raid durability, where your normal durability is the white color and your in-raid one is this red one or whatever, and that's the duct tape you've added to the gun, and that's going to go super fast, where like maybe literally you could find some duct tape and a spring in a raid and increase the durability of your weapon by 15%, and it would last a whole magazine instead of like hours and hours, where like they could do a lot around that. But yeah, I mean,
that goes back to your thing though, Exo. I love it. I love the ideas of it, but it goes back to, it means an RPG. It's still a video game at the end of the day. When you start getting too mechanical with it, then like
it becomes tedious. They have to balance TDM
at that point. I don't want to play Arma. I really don't.
True.
Same. I already play Arma in between raids. It's called the waiting simulator, and as far as I know, that's pretty much Arma. Is wait around for 3 hours, engage at 300 meters, and then wait 3 more hours. Like
I've been in games. I have been in wars that, granted, I'm sure people have been in day-long wars, but like I was in a 6-hour one, and I got to the point where I was like, I just wasted 6 hours of my life and I don't really want to continue. And I left. And I was like, I will never get that time back, and I don't want that to become Tarkov because I'll just sooner sell the gun and buy a new one.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing they need to balance against is the same thing with armor. Like, it's not worth it to repair certain armors more than once or twice. Buy a new one. Corin, big one on that list. Like, go buy a new one.
Third time.
Repair
Like,
on it.
Yeah, don't even do it.
Yeah, I mean, the repair is so expensive, and it repairs well, but it has a shit HP pool in the first place. Yeah, like, I repair them once. The little bit of the wipe that I use a Corin, repair it once, throw it away. Like,
I don't even
it's not
repair them
more.
half the time.
I don't insure them after I've repaired them once. I don't insure my, I will insure a fresh Gazelle. I will not insure a once-used Gazelle, generally. Because I'll either die in that raid, or I'll make it out. Like, and if I die in that raid, I don't want it back, even if it didn't get shot, because it was probably... I probably shouldn't have been running it anyway. But anyway, so I didn't mean to get us stuck on the thing I was saying let's not get stuck on. And then I was like, okay, but I have a lot of thoughts about it. I just wanted to high level touch on some of that stuff because I think it'll be pretty cool. So,
well, plans for next wipe.
Yeah.
Just
Shadow
around the floor.
What are your plans for next wipe? What are you gonna do differently?
I don't know. I feel like I have a different perspective. Does this count as my first wipe?
No, this is your second wipe. Last wipe, I don't know. What level did you get to last wipe?
I don't even know if I made it past 10.
You made it. You made it to Flea.
No, I did. I made it to 10 at least, but yeah, I didn't make it to like 20 or anything.
We'll call this your first real wipe.
Yeah.
I started in like November, and I didn't even really like it that much, and then. But no, I started very timidly this wipe. So I think that I have like a completely different perspective, and now I'm probably just gonna like power through to 20, and I don't know.
So before we continue what everyone's going to do, keep in mind, USEC, you get M4s as of right now. Bears used to get AKs. I think they don't get AKs anymore, right? They're getting HKs or something now.
No, they get AKs and I think one RPK if you have the EOD.
An RPK, right?
The RPK, yeah.
So
they wouldn't get HKs.
You gotta weigh in. Do you want them fours or do you want the RPK as well? It's like obviously we should get into it, what besides what you're doing. What are you gonna go as? You're gonna go Bear or USEC?
I don't know.
That's the real important one here.
Sticky needles, sticky needles, sticky needles.
Needles. I don't know. I like the M4.
I haven't thought about starter gear because it's gone so quickly, and ammo costs are the real problem. And I can BS ammo on reserve is super accessible. Go farm reserve as a scav all day long or all weekend long.
Yeah,
you can have an ammo case half full. Go fuck yourself about 5.56. So like, the starting gear, I would rather start with the AK and stuff and not have to like burn this shitty Colt M4 and stuff. But so day 3 of the wipe, whenever I'm out of the starter gear anyway, and or I'm faced with the challenge of, well, my ammo is not working anymore. Does it really matter? Isn't it at that point just about understandability and voice lines?
Your skills for M4s and AKs too. So you start at like 500, I think, for whichever side you choose.
Are they doing that this wipe or the next wipe? Because I didn't think they did that this wipe. There was talk about it, but I didn't think that happened.
I definitely started at like 500 because my AKs are only like 600 or 700 rating, and I just got my my 5.56 guns up to level 2. Which, it does absolutely nothing if you were wondering. No stats changed, no nothing. Recoil didn't change or anything. So there's no point to it. But I'm assuming at some point that's going to change, whether it's going to be this patch or not. So keep that in mind for future patches and wipes. I'm assuming if that changes, it's going to be on a wipe. Because I feel like you can't change that halfway through.
I mean... They did the Mac drill halfway through this wipe. That's why everyone's Mac drill skills were at level 1 when they were level 30 something. But no, I take your point. Like, well, and I think like general proficiency and stuff like that, I'd almost rather start as a USEC because early wipe, I don't care. My gun is worse than my skill. I'm gonna want the HK and the M4 to run better late.
Yeah.
So now, and I get they need to mimic real guns or they need to follow real guns. I kind of wonder why they haven't done more to help boost the RPK. And make it a competitor to the HK, because the most tricked out RPK is a really, really shitty version of a gun compared to a tricked out M4 or a tricked out HK. I feel like it's almost like early game the AKs matter. Late game, the American weapons matter. Why would anyone want to pick bear? You know? So, I don't know. I feel like it should matter more. There should be more depth to that choice other than it just being a language choice, because it's a significant disadvantage to non-Russian speakers to play as a bear.
Right.
Like, Shadow can't go voice line someone, hold your fire, or like if she wanted to do that, she can't. Like, it all sounds like scavs. And also they can bait as scavs. Like, I don't know, it just, the choice feels like the illusion of choice, and I don't really think it's in a good place. Like, I would almost rather have them revert it to how it was last wipe. Everyone gets the same starting gear, and it really is just a visual and auditory choice.
Yeah. Well, that being said, XO, what are your plans going to be, character aside?
I am going to do the same thing that Mumbles has talked about. I am not going to work on my hideout at all, like the first 2 weeks, month, maybe. I am going to sell the shit out of stuff. Early on, like bolts, nails, stuff like that. Like, cool. I'll deal with getting my workbench a week late. Like, I feel like there's a group of players that this game's point is to be done with the game as quickly as, it's like Path of Exile, and I don't mean to complain, but like, that's a really bad part of the community. People are like, oh yeah, wipe's over. I've already gotten Kappa. It's been 4 days. Like, well, why don't you just uninstall the game? You clearly don't like playing it. Like, is this chore to go and play? Oh, this wipe's over. So, cool. I'm going to play the whole wipe, and I'm going to play it slow like I always do, probably, because I'm not very good at the game and I have a job. So my goal, early wipe, is to stack money. I want to rush level 10. I'm going to solo a lot more, especially on the kill quest and stuff like that, or solo and duo more. So if we all want to play together, cool, let's hang out in the same voice chat, but let's run 2 duos on 2 separate things and not try to like compete for scav kills on customs and scav kills on woods and shit like that. I'm going to rush the shit out of level 10, and then I'm going to rock back. And I'm going to do my normal, do chores and do video editing, scav, chores, scavs, and try to amass as much wealth early on as possible after unlocking the flea. And then I am going to start PMCing more, because this wipe, I started a lot as a scav. Last wipe, I played as a scav a lot. And I've really enjoyed PMCing more. And like, I've learned through you guys and through some of the mags group and stuff, you don't have to go in with good gear. You don't have to go in super sweaty. Like, you can go and level your PMC skills on the about the same cost curve as running a scav. And if anything, I'd rather farm reserve all day long as a PMC and lose my pistol or lose my scav AK and my press armor, because I have the opportunity to go in and hit marked, or I have the opportunity to go in and kill some raiders, get their gear and book it, versus it's a total dice roll, I feel like, scavving in, hoping that there's value on the map still. And I think that hurt my time in game, because it's like some of my time was wasted completely, whereas I could have relied more on player skill to like win early combat and stuff like that. So I think TLDR is scav early hard and amass wealth, and then PMC really, really hard once the initial first people that must beat the game in 4 days because they don't like it, but they have to play it. Once that wave dies down, pretty much abandon my scav from that point forward, and only PMC the rest of the wipe.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
you said you're not really going to focus on the hideout. Is there any benefit to rushing some of those hideout perks, or is it too like locked behind too high of a level?
So early on, there's only a couple of things you can level up to, like 2, maybe 3, without getting to like loyalty level 2 or whatever the case is. That being, you can do the rest station, the med station, the food station you can do, but you need some items for it, I believe, for the first upgrade. And I think you can do the weapon, or not weapon, the laboratory you can upgrade right then and there. So that's all great. There's a couple of crafting things you could do early on within the laboratory. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that being said, like the first beneficial thing really would be the med station. And I actually think you need to hit. You can't do that right at the start. I think you need to hit a. Do you?
You can build
I thought
level
you-
one.
Which you can make Salewas with for the quest.
Right.
That's about all I plan on
that's
doing.
what it is. Yeah. So I mean, that's good. But yeah, you are right. Other than that, there's really not much until you get to like therapist level 3, mechanic level 2 and being able to upgrade the crafting bench and start doing the generator stuff and all that crap. Like,
it's all gated behind. I feel like this wipe, my progress was entirely gated behind mechanics loyalty level, and that is directly tied to your player PMC level. It is easy for me to not worry about the hideout until I'm level 20, because like I can go build the hideout all in one weekend, or I could have built it slowly over the period of a month. The only difference is the cost of the items that goes into the hideout. Right. So I think like if we could get workbench level 3 really, really quickly by rushing through items, I think it'd be worth it for the crafts, but it's all PMC level locked. So, and I feel like my strategy of trying to switch to the PMC and PMC heavier sooner is going to help me maybe make up some of that time compared to what I did this wipe. That all I'm going to really stand to do is make an extra 10 million rubles the first month or the first 2 weeks or whatever that ends up being. Yeah. At that point, then I'll just buy all the items anyway, because I'm going to be stuck waiting on level 30, and that's going to take some time. So, and the grind between 26 and 30 kind of sucks, and then the grind between 30s. Like, yeah, the whole 30 grind is just awful. But getting everything to loyalty level 4 is my other goal. Like, my goal, I think this next wipe is just to hit 40. That's my only goal. I want to complete Shooter Born in Heaven though.
That was so relieving when I finished that. I think I finished that with Santa, actually. I think we were sitting in the tower, right?
Yeah.
And I got that last kill on reserve, and I was so excited. Finishing that quest is just like a status. And like, trust me, like when you get there, and you make that last shot, it is just like, it's a weight lifted off your shoulders. You're like, yes, finally, I don't have to do this. You never go long range for like 2 weeks after that. You're like, I'm going strictly SMGs, running in the resort. I'm not doing long range. Because I sat there. I think I did like 9 or 10 raids for Woods. I only did like 3 reserve raids. Shoreline took forever. And Customs was just pure luck.
I'm mad about my Shoreline ones. I got those at night.
Oof.
It was with that SR-25 where you had a thermal mumbles, you couldn't find anyone, and I found a stack of 3 people right by power, and I'm like, they're on the hill. You're like, I don't see anyone, and then I 3-shot each one of them in the face, and that was that.
Yeah, I wanna do more Jaeger stuff early on, and then I wanna get into Shooterborn early before I start really hitting PMCing heavily, because I've gotten half of my I'm halfway through Shooterborn in Heaven. None of it's been on purpose. I have yet to sit there and camp and wait. Like, it's all been organic gameplay. Now it's been making the choice to put a Valde scope on or a Voodoo scope on and engage from a little bit more range. But engaging from range, as it turns out, is really useful to survive, because if you are shooting people before they see you, they cannot shoot you back, and they cannot shoot you with their MP7 at 120 meters, probably, hopefully, maybe.
My plan for, I guess, the end of this wipe and going in the next wipe. So I'm going to focus a lot more on factory the last few weeks, especially when the patch hits. When the patch hits, I'm probably going to run factory nonstop just to get better at the PvP aspect. I'm decent, but I want to get better at the PvP aspect. So I'm probably going to be running factory a ton more, factory and labs, to prep for next wipe.
I should do the same. That's a good idea.
Now, when it comes to and leading up to the wipe, instead of writing stuff down, I'm going to make a spreadsheet and share in the Discord of the items you need. I set up my hideout into phases. So like, I had phase 1, all the instant stuff. Phase 2 was anything I can get after that immediate stuff. And then phase 3 was pretty much the next level after that. And then after that was just kind of just as you get it. Because like scav case and intel L3 and generators, just as you get the stuff. There's no way to really prep for that. And then I had all my quest items set aside as well in a list as like on a piece of paper, and I'm going to put it in a spreadsheet so that other people can use it.
I think someone on Reddit actually made a Drive document for all of the hideout and quest item stuff. You might check there before you don't have much time doing that again. Yeah, like enhance from there or whatever. But yeah, I want to do the same thing because like PM pistols. Apparently saved 2 p.m.
Fucking hate
pistols.
those.
Yep.
Yeah, and I saved a lot of stuff this
still have
wipe.
2 on me.
Yeah, I saved a lot this wipe that I didn't last wipe, like the lower half mask and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But I did not like roller. I sold a roller, and then I was like, oh, I need a roller, and then I sold my first tank battery that I found.
Nice.
That's a rough one.
Don't do that. That was a really rough one. I got incredibly lucky on that second one, and Ilk and his max strength and max endurance actually helped me ferry it to the exit, to the hermetic door exit. There's no way I would have made it in time. So like even then, I haven't technically gotten a tank battery out of raid after that first one. Ilk pretty much got it out for me and then dropped it at the end. It was like, here you go, bud.
So work on strength training early. Got it.
I need to focus skills next. What? I have never focused skills. This is the first time I actually focused on endurance. I really need to focus on search because watching Magpie actually get that maxed out was super. Like being able to search a backpack and a rig at the same time is incredibly
Incredible.
useful.
Yeah, in PvP situations,
Yeah.
that is a win or loss. Like snatching a grenade, snatching meds, or just not being on the body as long.
Yeah.
Because you can hit pockets and bag or you can hit pockets and bag in theory and just drag the rig into your backpack and run the fuck away. And I've done that sometimes. I'll just control click the rig into my backpack and I'll go find a safe spot and I'll search the rig. And a lot of times I drop the rig unless it's like a net positive rig. But yeah, you can be on that body just like that because the guns, are all just alter, control click in, and
Right.
dropping helmets and stuff is all pretty quick. So
The next thing I'm going to do, so when wipe happens, I'm going to focus on when I first log in. So when I first log in, I'm going to pick USEC, probably just because I like the uniforms a little bit better. And then I also like being able to communicate with people until VoIP happens, which VoIP is rumored, but I'm probably not going to keep that on just because of the annoyance for stream and stuff like that. I'll probably do a couple meme days, like, of course, run around, like, messing with people. I'm going to focus on, when I first log in, get my hit escape from Tarkov first to start the scav timer. Go back into my stash, fix all that, organize that, because organization was not great this wipe. And then I'm going to run my stash runs on Shoreline or Interchange. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to run stash runs non-stop at the start and sell anything that's not a quest item first. And then if I get like my 2 teapots I already have, I'm going to sell the teapots. Rollers, like all that stuff, I'm going to grab. Actually, I'll probably just sell 2 rollers off the start because they're like 1.2 mil at the start of the game.
Yeah, they're real expensive.
Corrugated hoses, we're going for like 300k. Like, if I sell 3 of those, it's almost a mil. So I'm going to
bolts were 120.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to sell all that early stuff. And I think same thing, Shoreline stash runs. I mean, that's what bankrolled me early this wipe. I found a hex grid. I found a bunch of shit. Like,
I've gotten 4 slicks out of stash runs on there.
yeah, it's ridiculous. And if you die, cool, you're running in with a pistol. Like, super. It's pretty much you're gonna scav as your PMC, essentially roulette, but like more intentional roulette, and just like, cool. Well, if I lose a shitty Vepo, okay, I lost a shitty Vepo, but maybe I make it out with a slick and a Cayman and an exfil and a new lock. I usually get
card.
like 4 helmets, 5 helmets. When I find 1, I'll find 5. So
I've
yeah,
gotten
like
so
you
many
get loaded
U-locks.
up.
And like
expensive.
Yeah, early white sit on the armor. Armor didn't sell for much because it wasn't like a necessity thing. The barter items are what's expensive. Sit on your armor, sit on your guns. Sell the barter items. I'm
I
gonna
actually
play.
sold that hex grid for like 500k early wipe. I don't know why it was so expensive early wipe.
It was new.
Okay, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was when they first introduced it, so everyone was like, I need to get this. So what happens, like, the STM was going for like 200k when it first released. And it was like,
it's so good.
people just wanted it because it was new and they wanted to play with it.
Yeah.
I'm going to play next wipe a lot slower quest-wise. I want to focus more on the raider killing, boss killing, PvPing to get the XP, because I'm at the point where, like, I don't want to play solo. I am bored when I play solo. Like, I don't want to do Tarkov Part 8 because it's awful. I have plans for the rest of the quest. I just need to get Tarkov Part 8. and I'm just kind of going around aimlessly, not doing stuff. I need to play slower next swipe because quest grinding's so hard at the start. I have nothing to do now.
Well, and it's also harder. I feel like if you're quest grinding really early on, you're competing with, again, the other people that seem to think that playing video games is a race to not play the video game anymore. I don't really want to go compete with 700 other people trying to do the bunker part 1 and part 2.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, like, okay, great. Let them go do it because it's just a death fest. And then in 2 weeks or a month, I'll do it. Like, cool.
Yeah.
Why not? As long as I'm level 10, I have access to flee. I'm not completely screwed on stuff. And then the other part, like you said, turns out killing players and raiders is real good XP. And it numerically competes with the XP you'd get for these lower tier quests. You're getting 9,600 XP for something like, okay, well, just go kill Gluhar and his boys. It doesn't matter if you die.
Yeah.
I got 7,500 XP killing Gluhar and his boys, and I died. Like,
Yeah. Oh, it doesn't matter.
shit, sign me up. That was way quicker and way easier than go get these 2 things off of woods and make it out alive. Like,
And get the same XP, and you didn't have any activity. You
Yeah,
might
I
die
didn't get-
along the way and lose your gear anyways.
and I didn't get better at the game physically, mechanically as a player. I didn't get better at clicking heads by face rolling, bronze pocket watch 12 times or whatever it took me to swipe before I didn't get shit on trying to leave that little area because, some people are too scared to buy stolen credit card numbers, so they camp lobby quest spots. But that's a whole different conversation. If you're good at exfil camp, just cheat. Like, just be a man about it, or be an adult about it. I guess I shouldn't insult women. Be an adult about it. Just cheat. Like, who cares? No one's judging you any more than they already are. But yeah, so that's the message, kids, is cheat at Tarkov.
True. Yeah.
I'm not going to hop in on this just because this will lead it to a whole other rabbit hole.
Smart, very smart.
Because we've already had this talk, and it'd be a little bit, repetitive, and I don't want it to go down that rabbit hole when this far into the podcast. But yeah, I'm going to play next wipe a little bit different. At the end of this wipe, I'm going to play a little bit different. I hope the day before wipe, the servers don't catch on fire as quickly as they did last wipe, because you literally couldn't have fun. Like, we got into the labs once. I got face shielded, one tapped by a fucking raider across the map, or player, I can't remember now, with just garbage ammo. Just got one tap through an Alton. No, it was a mask. I went in with a mask. I got one tap through the face shield. And I was like, all right, cool. Let's go customs. We went to customs, got kicked out like 10 minutes in because the servers died. And then we went to factory like 5 or 6 times, and then the servers just melted.
You mean you went into GL40 land 5 or 6 times and the servers melted?
Oh, it was hilarious.
It's
great.
so good. It was just
It was
all you hear is thump and explode, thump and yeah. There's no bullets on factory when the wipe gets announced. There's just grenades. So I think what we should do is we should pretend like the game's wiping next week. Not because I think it is, but because we should go have some fun with all this crazy gear we have and not sit on 13 slicks and 15.
Oh, wait. I'm ready to do that right now, baby.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I am super down for that. So, it's fun. I've been doing labs runs and shit. Like, it's been crazy, and I usually die.
Learning it. I need to learn labs.
Do we want to go run labs?
I have a key card in my inventory right now.
I've got like 10 of them.
The thing
I'm
about
also
labs,
fitted with a DVL and a pistol, so I'm ready.
Let's do it.
DVL, or not DVL, labs, it's hard to understand. I sat there in offline mode, and I go offline mode before I ever start stream, just to warm up. It is so confusing at the start, but once you understand it and once you start getting out, when you make it out with like 3 mil worth of stims. That's not including the M4s you find, the valuables you find, like the raiders you killed, the amount of grenades you found. Like, you go in there with a couch backpack, you walk out with 4 Black Rocks packed to the brim with U-locks and Altons.
I will be happy when we get inertia, because the biggest, and that was my biggest disappointment with the 12.11 patch notes. People can enjoy how the game's being played right now, and that's fine. it is not how the game was designed. It's not how a lot of its mechanics are designed around. And labs, I love labs, and I would be okay with PvP against better people, but it's just a here's a wall, it's this. Like, this is all of the labs combat is just the AD spamming around a wall.
Yeah.
And that, I just don't find that as fun. Like, I don't know.
Right.
And again, I'm not saying they're abusing mechanics. I do the same shit. Like, we all have to. The top tier gameplay, it shouldn't look like that, or I just don't enjoy it like that. And people are a lot better at it than I am. So I'll get shot as I see the guy go around the corner because he's like, oh, I've got Peeker's advantage, time to go push him. Cool. But it makes labs a lot harder to survive than I feel like it would be if we did have even a basic level of inertia where angles and sounds and stuff would matter more. So I've been enjoying labs, but I am really looking forward to labs in 12-12 when we have inertia.
Yeah.
Because I think the whole game is going to change, and I think that we're probably going to see an exodus of some players. I would think that the player base is going to shift around some because, like, the Shift W, we joke around that Shadow's a Shift W chat or whatever. There are a lot of people that only play like that and really would not want to play any other way other than that.
No idea what you're talking about.
What do you mean, joke around?
Yeah, you too, Mumbles. Like, but no, I mean, you guys are Shift W chats because that's the best way to play the game. That's the best way to PvP.
Yeah.
But leaning's not important. Slow leaning's not important. Crouch walking is completely useless. A lot of sights and stuff, like it just, I don't know. It lacks the depth that the game will have the second inertia is in the game. Being able to cross a hallway. I don't know about y'all, but I can reach a higher speed running for a few seconds than I can initially.
Yeah.
Like, whenever I move from still to motion, I'm actually more slow up until I reach my maximum movement speed as a human. That's how cars work, that's how animals work. Like, being able to move from one room to the other. Like, I was watching Pest stream earlier, and some guy just, like, jumped across. And by the time he saw me, it was gone. And it was like, well, shit. That would have been a really, really interesting firefight had those physics been a bit more, or I don't want to call it realistic, just a bit more reasonable. So, I want to become a labs raider in 12-12 and just hang out in labs only.
That's how you get the XP.
Yeah, no, for
you
sure.
want to say F quests for XP, like getting good at labs and going in and killing 10 raiders. That's how you get XP. That's when you get out with like 30,000 XP and go, yeah, those 5 quests, yeah, screw those. Doesn't even matter.
I'm level 17 now. Well, that's why a lot of streamers have pushed to like have labs lock for the first 2 weeks and have the raider count on reserve reduced for the first 2 weeks of a wipe or whatever, like, because otherwise a lot of people are just cheesing through the early stuff without actually playing the game, which I don't know, like, that's fine or whatever, but I can get where people might want people to engage in the game's content more.
Right.
So, but anyway, I think that's it. Yeah, we're running low on time, and I'm hungry and would like to go play labs. So, I think we should go do a labs run. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm down.
All right. Cool.
Too.
Thanks for joining, everybody. It's been an excellent time. We hope you've enjoyed the content, and maybe one day we'll get Mumbles to share his real opinion on exfil camping and cheating and stuff like that, because he always ducks that. So next time maybe we'll have a little chat about that, and then I don't know what the content's going to be next time. We want to talk about economy changes, crafting changes. What are we going to go over?
I think we should get more into the current state of the game, because Mumbles mentioned what he thought it was, and I disagreed completely. But I didn't want to get into it, probably for the same reason he doesn't want to get into cheating, because it'll take up way too much time.
Yep.
So
Current state of the game, and that will include different play styles and stuff. So episode 3 will be State of the Game of Escape from Tarkov. Thanks for joining the Unknowns as we drone on about Tarkov, and we'll see you next time.